You on? Yes. Okay, fantastic. All right, guys. Like Brent said, this is a great week to do our push week and just push ourselves as much as possible. And JJ Oswald is with Sound Concepts with IsaTools. I know that this is a tool that I couldn't go without. I use this on a regular basis for many different reasons. I'm going to have JJ go over it in particular, but use this program, especially if you already have it. It's going to make your life so much easier. They put everything together for us. So it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and introduce JJ for you guys. It is my pleasure to introduce JJ, who is our guest trainer for tonight's call. He is one of the owners for Sound Concepts. He has worked extremely close with Isagenix over the last 13 years, not only in creating, but also distributing the sales tools on isasalestools.com, as well as the IsaTools app. His company provides similar services to more than 50 different direct sales companies, and he's here today to share all of his insights and to provide an overview on how to use the IsaTools app to build our business effectively. JJ, I'm so excited to bring you on. You have made a world of difference to me and how making it so much easier and much more effective to communicate with people. So thank you for being our guest speaker tonight and sharing this with us.
You are welcome. Well, I appreciate, Stephanie, the invitation, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes hopefully enabling you guys to better understand how you can use tools, and specifically the IsaTools app, to help you build your business. I just want to spend a few minutes giving you some background as to, the importance of why you should be using tools to build your business. And there's three main benefits or tips that I want to share with you. As Stephanie mentioned, we at Sound Concepts have been serving the direct selling industry since 1979. It's a family business. My dad started it way back when, and we currently work with more than 50 different direct selling companies providing similar services. And you've all heard the phrase "success leaves clues." We kind of have this 30,000 foot level of the industry, and we're seeing what's working, what's not. And we've all heard that phrase that success leaves clues because we're working with so many different companies. We see what teams are growing, we see what companies are growing, and what they're doing to have success. And what we've seen is there's a direct relation between the use of tools and the growth of the company. And in your case, the use of tools and the growth of your own respective groups. So you can see there's a growth chart here of one of our clients. You can see that they started at around 25 million in sales, and over a 4-year period grew to about $125 million. And then if you were to compare the growth of the company to the same chart of the use of sales tools during that same time, you'll see that there's a direct relation between the use of tools and the amount of activity that's generated from tools, also attached to the amount of revenue that's generated. And so the key takeaway is that the tools will help you build your business if you use them effectively and really grow your teams. So what's the direct relation? And so today I want to share 3 quick tips before we dive into the app as to why you should be using the IsaTools app and the other incredible tools that Isagenix offers you to build your business. The first principle based around tools is that tools create activity. So if you wanted to find a way, if you felt like, oh, my group is stagnant, or hey, I really want to push hard to achieve a rank advancement or whatever that might be, promote the use of tools. The more tools that are generated, the more active they'll be. And so I always teach a principle called 2 a day, 10 in play. So I've talked to tons of $1 million earners in the industry, and they teach this principle of 2 a day, 10 in play. What that means is have the goal of sharing at least with 2 new people every single day. And at any given time, you might have up to 10 people that you're interacting with. So that 2 represents 2 new contacts a day, 10 at any given time I'm following up with or I'm engaged with in sharing the Isagenix story. The second reason why you should be using tools is because they really help with duplication. If you're not duplicating within your team, you're gonna stop growing. And this is one of the most important elements that you need to have, or characteristics of your team, is to create duplication. So this tool is great for new associates. And what I would encourage you to do is to lead by example. Your team is going to mimic what you do. So if you're recruiting and you're sponsoring and you're using the tools, and they're going to mimic exactly what you do. The other thing I would tell you is to keep it simple. The more simple you can keep the experience of sharing Isagenix, the more duplicatable you become. For example, whenever you're sharing the Isagenix story, whether you like it or not, that person that you're sharing isogenics with is thinking to themselves, can I do what that person is doing? So the more simple you keep this, the more likely that person that's watching you and going through the experience is going to say, oh, I can do that too. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I need to know all the ingredients, I need to know all the science, I need to know all these things, everything about the comp plan. No, let the tool be the message. You guys are simply the messenger. So that's the key tip or takeaway. And again, if you use the tools, the duplication happens. So isogenicsbusiness.com is a great resource. The IsaTools app is a great resource. There's unbelievable isamovie.com, all these resources that you have available. Use the tools and let them be the message. You're simply the messenger. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is the reasons why you should be using tools is retention. So we recently did a case study and we looked at associates that had purchased or used tools within the first 30 days of enrolling and joining the company. Those individuals that used tools within the first 30 days were 4 times more likely to still be involved 9 months later. So it's a key takeaway. Get your brand new people involved and using the tools. It'll really help with retention. Okay, now that I kind of shared some high level insights of why you should be using tools, I'm now gonna share my screen and I'll see if I can show the app, and I'm gonna share a few important tips. Those of you that are currently using the app, and those of you that aren't, this will provide a quick overview of some of the benefits of using this tool. So I talked before about being letting the tool be the message and you're simply the messenger. So this enables you to share content easily. It's the entire library of assets are right here at your fingertips that you can share. And there's a few key takeaways that I want to share with you, just insights from the industry of what we're seeing. We're seeing now, if you were to go back 5 or even 8 years ago, many of you that were involved in the industry maybe remember passing out a CD or passing out even a cassette tape if you go back 15, 20 years ago. The same principle applies, but what we're seeing is texting a video has become the preferred method of sharing content. Within our platform, within this IsaTools app, 70% of the time, content is shared via text message. So when I tap on this Mary Evans video, and you look at the different share methods that are right here, I can email, I can text, I can share through social media, I can copy the link, or I can download the video onto my device. So in this case, texting, the second one over, is 70% of the time used. And why is that? When you think about it, it's really easy to consume content now on our phones. If I was to ask you, when's the last time you watched a video on your phone? My guess is it would probably be today or yesterday, whether it's on social media or a news feed or something like that. You're consuming content that way. And so texting a video, in my opinion, is one of the most important. And if you're especially just getting started and using the app, this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful parts of using the tool. So I just want to quickly share the process of texting a video and encourage this, and just maybe share a few tips. So I wanted to highlight that there's a new video, this one here, Isogenics Explained, that was introduced for those of you that went to ICU in Philadelphia about 10 days ago. This video was released. If you're not familiar with it, I would get in and watch it. You can watch the videos by just pushing the little play button that's right here in the app. And again, if after watching it, getting familiar with the video, you can now come down to share it. So in this case, I'm going to text a video. I'm going to text the Mary Evans video. So I'm going to click text. What this is going to do is it's going to pull up the contacts right on my phone. And now what I like to do, you can either scroll over and see the alphabet that's on the far right. I can scroll down and find the name, or I can come up to the search field up here in the top right and click on the search button and just type in my name. So in this case, I'm just going to type my own name in, and I'm going to select my own phone number. So what's cool about this is this now has a pre-populated text message. Now you can certainly customize this, and I would always encourage you to customize that message. And I'd never send a video to somebody without first having a conversation with them. So I call that sending a video blindly. So don't ever do that. Make sure that you let them know it's coming. They should be expecting the video, right? And if you go to ICU, we're all taught that we should master a 30 to 60 second story, where you talk about before isogenics, I did this, after isogenics, I have more energy, I've lost weight, or whatever that story is, or if it's a wealth-oriented testimony, you can share that. But always send a video to somebody, they should be expecting it. So I'm going to push send, and you'll notice that as I text the video at the top of the app, it says that it was successfully shared. And now I'm receiving the text message as if I'm the customer, the potential prospect, right? That I just received it. So I want to show you that experience. So I just received the text message. I can now read the text that was sent to me, and now I can click on the image to view it, or the video to watch it. So here's a really important step of the sharing experience that I want you guys to notice. As I click play, this will now pull up and it'll allow me to begin to play this video. Now you'll notice that at the very top, you see how it says JJ Oswald is just clicked on and is viewing the video, Just Cleanse with Mary Evans. So now that notification comes in, which is a very powerful tool, knowing exactly when they clicked on the content, knowing when to follow up. We've all heard the phrase that the fortune is in the follow-up, right? And in this business, that is one of the most important steps in the sharing experience. And so what we're doing is with the app is we're enabling you to know exactly when they clicked on the content and when they're watching it. Another thing I want to show you here that many of you may not understand. When I click play, I'm going to quickly play the video for just a minute.
Thanks for coming today and checking out.
Okay, I began to play the video. Not only do we let you know that they clicked on the link to watch the video, but we also report back to you if they actually played the video or not. So I'm going to go back into the app and show you what that experience looks like. So we're going to go back into the media. Down here, we're in media. And if we come over 2 spots along the bottom to the activity feed, I can click on the activity feed, and this is going to show me a history of all of my shares and if and when they had clicked on content. So the first thing you'll notice is that this is the video that I just shared. And you'll notice right here it says that JJ visited the site, but it'll also show that JJ played the video. So there's 2 separate notifications. And so pay attention to that as you begin to follow up. You remember when I talked about how tools create activity, and the more active you and your team are in using tools, the more likely you're going to grow your team. This is an area of the app that I call the activity feed. So you can come into the app and hold yourself accountable to the 2-a-day, 10 in play principle. So if I shared 2 times a day, I can look historically, I can scroll down and see how many times have I shared. I can even look back at my months and see the amount of activity. That 2-a-day, 10 in play principle is a place right here within the app that you can keep yourself accountable. The other thing I wanted to show you why we're here is a feature. If I was to swipe from right to left, I can see the date and time that occurred. So I can see the date that I shared it and the time that it was clicked on. In addition, we also have a reminder folder. So if I was to swipe over and swipe from left to right, I can tag JJ as a person that I need to follow up with as a reminder. So when I do that, he's now going to show up here in the reminder folder. So all of these would be all the people that maybe I need to follow up with at the end of the day, or that I haven't been able to connect with. After I follow up with him, I can swipe over and mark it as done, and then that will fly away and be removed from my reminder list. So this part of the activity feed is critical. So for me, if I'm looking at building an Isagenics business, and if I was to give you one main tip on how you can grow a big business, it would be to do that same process that I just shared of texting a video. So that is, in my opinion, the most important element of this sales tool is being able to do exactly what I just showed you. And so as you get your new people going, they build their list of people that they're going to reach out to. This is a great first exposure experience where I can send the video, have them watch the Transform Your Life video, the Just Cleanse video, whatever it might be. And then after that, you could follow up with a 3-way call and then get them going. Another thing I want to just quickly mention as far as navigation in the app, you'll notice that there's a variety of different assets. You'll see that these are great tools right here. So there's a product overview. How do I do a cleanse day? How do I do a shake day? So you're going to use some of these tools for post-enrollment experiences. So after they get started and they're on a system, on a 30-day system, for example, you can use some of these videos to support them. In addition, as I come down here, there's a View All button. So this View All button is going to break down the content of videos by category. So you'll see I have amped videos, I've got little mini commercials, I've got energy product videos, and if I can come up here to the top right, you see where it says filter? So if I tap on filter, what this does is this now breaks down all the videos by different categories. So if I'm looking down, if I wanted to find a video that was on, let's come down to science. So if I click on science, I click on that, it now will show me all the science videos that I can share. If I also, there's another piece of content that I just want to quickly highlight that's in here that's new. The Shake Booster content is really good too. There's a whole bunch of stuff. How do I use the heart shape booster? You know, there's a whole bunch of belly fat boosters and so forth that are in here. So get familiar with how you can navigate. Another tip as you find content is this search button up here. So if I was to search for, click on the search button. If I was to search, for example, for the new member enrollment form, new member form, there it is. I can click on that and now I have access to it. Another quick tip that I want to share with you, once you find content and say you use the same materials over and over, I would encourage you to like it. You see this little like button that's right here? So when I tap like, what that does is it now builds a custom list of assets that are up here at the top of the app that are what are my likes. So you see how now that new member form right here is there in the my likes section? So that's kind of building your favorites list of what you use all of the time. And one of the main reasons for using this tool is to save you time. It's all about speed and efficiency, especially because there's a lot of people that are building this business part-time. So this should be about simplicity. This should be about speed and effectiveness of sharing content quickly. So now that's why I have my custom list of my likes, and these are all my favorite tools that I use all of the time. Okay, one other quick tip that I want to mention is that there is a feature that we call a pull to refresh. And this is really critical to use not only on the media page, but also on the contacts. So when I pull down, you see how I pull down and you'll see how there's this pull to refresh prompt. So what happens is I pull down, I drag, I let go, and now this is doing a pull to refresh, which is now going to call to the servers and say, hey, Isagenix, did you load anything new into the app? So when you do that, it's now going to load in the newest, most up-to-date content. So many of you that do that, you might see that there's now a new video or a new PDF or new social media images. So I'd be doing that at least once a week. So another thing that I want to share with you is the contacts feature. So when I come into the contacts feature that's right down here at the bottom, if I was to add, so I'm going to give you a couple examples. So if I'm traveling, like I was last week, I was in Phoenix, and I took an Uber ride to corporate office. And when I was driving there, I was talking to the driver, and if I wanted to add him to my list here to send a video to him, I can come over here to the plus sign and add him by just clicking plus, and then I just add that individual, and now I can share a video with him. The other alternative is if I wanted to add him to my contacts on my phone. So say I added a brand new person in my contacts on my phone. In order for him to show up here within the app, I need to also on this page, before I share content or before I can actually send content to him, I also need to pull down my thumb on the screen, and it'll prompt me to pull to refresh. And it's going to say, are there any new contacts on my phone that I need to pull into the app? And then that will enable you to be able to share content with me. Okay, so those pull to refresh features are really important. Now let's talk about the download feature. We talked about emailing and texting are very similar experience. I showed you that process already. Those are the two share methods, and the only two share methods that you can receive a text message or a push notification when they can click on content. That's the only trackable ways of sharing content. We also have the ability to share this through social media. I can copy the link. If I was to copy this link, the way I would use this part of the app is, say I was involved in a Facebook message conversation where I was instant messaging with somebody, and I told them, oh, I'll just send you a link and share some information with you. I can come to the app, I can copy the link, and what that does, you'll notice that it now copies to my clipboard, and I can leave the application, go to WhatsApp, go to Facebook Messenger, go to any other channel, or if I'm involved in a Facebook conversation in the comments, I can use that copy link feature. And the last feature is this download button. So this download, I'm going to share some examples of why I would use the download feature. So I just click download. What this is going to do is it's going to download it. It's not going to bog down your phone. It doesn't actually download it onto your device. It actually downloads it to reside within the application. And the reason I would do that is for two reasons. One, if I was ever in a place where I didn't have the internet, for example, on an airplane, and I was sitting next to somebody and I was talking to them about Isagenix, if I have downloaded the asset, I can share my phone with them and have them watch it. Or if I wanted to download some training content before I got on the airplane and I wanted to watch it while I was on the airplane, I could watch it if I had downloaded it now I can watch it without the internet. Second application that I would use this feature. For those of you that do in-home meetings, and again, that phrase that I used early on, the success leaves clues, that's another hint or takeaway that I would share with you is the companies that we're dealing with in the industry. that is a proven and probably one of the most effective ways of building the business is doing launch parties, home meetings. And so you can use the app to play the video directly to your TV in your home. So in that case, if I have downloaded the video, I can just come over here to this play button that's right next to the title and play the video right from my phone onto my TV in my home. So if you have an Apple TV or an HDMI cable and adapter and a lightning adapter, you can do that. Okay, so now those downloads are,
Thanks for
oh, I'm gonna, it looks like I clicked on the wrong button there. Let me get out of it. So when I want to show you where those downloads reside. So there's now a new section called downloads, and that'll now be created for any assets that you download. Okay, couple of more tips. You've got a whole bunch of resources in here from PDFs, new member forms. There's like this Science of Isogenics magazine is great. There's all types of PDFs that you can share. Same share methods that I've already described. A couple of other things that I want to share with you. One of my favorite tools within the app, and in fact, this is, believe it or not, one of the top five most shared assets within the app. If you look at Isogenics overall, this is one of the most shared assets. So if you're not using it, I would highly encourage you to use it. And it's the digital version of the lookbook. So within here, you can share the entire lookbook with somebody, or you can share a specific category. So Tony Robbins teaches that you should always let your prospect determine your presentation. And Isogenics does such a good job of empowering you as an associate to let your prospect determine your presentation and share the tool that relates best to them. So the lookbook is exactly that way. This is full of testimonials, and if I'm talking to somebody that is interested in losing weight, or an athlete, somebody that wants more energy or healthy aging, I have the right piece of the book or chapter of the book that I want to share with them. So in the case of weight loss, if I tap on the lookbook category of weight loss, I have all these share methods of email, text, social media, or I can copy the link. So when I text it to somebody, the same rules apply. I can know that they clicked on the content. That way I know when to follow up. But this is a great tool to share. It just basically for bragging rights. We should have called this the brag book because it's so incredible, the number of testimonials that are in here. So when I text it to somebody, when they click on it, it looks like this. They click on the link that you shared with them. And this is now full of amazing stories, before and after photos, little tips of information, little highlights of little product highlights. There's even videos that are throughout here that you can share. So you can see there's now these little testimonial videos. So this is kind of, in a way, a really good way to basically demonstrate and show off all of the amazing transformation before and after photos just by a quick click or text message. So that's another example of how I would use the lookbook to share content with people. Okay, a couple of other things, and then we're going to wrap up. We also wanted to share with you, there's a couple of training tools that I want to just quickly highlight. These podcasts that are in here are fantastic. So if you wanted to come in here and share one of these podcasts, or listen to a podcast rather, let me click on one of these. So if I wanted to listen to Pam Barnum, I could and listen to her story. All I do is I come over here and push play on this play button. So when I click play, that'll now play that podcast that I can listen to. So there's a bunch of product training. There's a whole bunch of business training resources that you can listen to. And what's great about this is if I close down this section, or if I close the app, you'll notice that it's still going to play down here at the bottom of the application. So whether I'm working out in the morning or I'm driving in my car, I can listen to those podcasts and stay connected. So this is all the same podcasts that are part of isagenicspodcast.net. All of those podcasts reside right here within the app. And what's cool about this too is if after I listen to it, I think to myself, oh, Mary in Dallas would love this, I can now come down and text it to her. So you've got all these share methods that are right down here at the bottom. Okay, one other tool that I want to just quickly share with you. Your shareable websites are right here. These are all and I tap social. What this is going to do is it's going to ask me if I want to copy the caption associated with this image. So do you see the description that's in the background? So this enables me to be able to share Amira's story. And I click yes, and now it pulls in any of my social networks that I want to share it on. And then I click Facebook, and then what this will do is it'll pull the image into Facebook, and it'll allow me to now copy and paste that message or that caption and share it on Facebook. So that's a quick tip on using social media. There's a whole bunch of assets that you can use here to do that. And then I just want to end by just describing how you go about getting the app. For those of you that don't already have it, you can get the app directly in your back office. So the first thing you have to do is create your account in your back office. If you go in your back office and log in, you go to resources, and then you go to IsaTools. There's a button right below resources that says go to IsaTools. You'll create your account, and then after you create your account, you're going to be able to log into the app. Download the app from either the Android store or the Apple store. And then once you download the app, it's going to call for a username and password. So that username and password is going to be the same username and password you use for the back office to log in, and then it will launch the app for you. There's a few things in the settings area that I want to make sure that you're all aware of. We're going to go to settings, and there's 3 things that I want to highlight. The first is the share setup. So right here in the share setup, you'll notice as I shared content earlier, do you see how my contact information is right down here at the very bottom below as I share content? So my photos here and all of my contact information is right here. So in the app, you want to go to make sure that that's current. You want to go to this share setup section of the app. You'll click on contact information, and then you'll want to add your name. And in this case, I have me and my wife's name as an example. So if you're building the business with a spouse, you can have both of your names there and maybe do a combined photo. And then you're going to want to have your email and phone number there so that people can reach out to you. So that's one quick tip that's going to be, again, visible. Whenever you share any content, they're going to see that. The next thing I want to show you is the notification section. So this, we all saw how I shared a video or any asset, and if I share it via email or text message, I can receive an instant notification letting me know that they're watching the video or they're reviewing the lookbook. So in order to have that tracking capability, you've got to make sure you go into notifications, and you need to make sure that this green button is turned on. So in addition to the green button, you can also come in here and add your email. So if you want to have your email or even an upline's team member or an upline or team member's email, just to kind of hold yourself accountable, or if you're building with a spouse, you can put both of your emails there. In addition to receiving an email notification, you can also receive a text message notification, and all you have to do is add your phone number right there. And so that's how you go about making sure that you're receiving those notifications. And then finally, if you have questions or if you have feedback that you want to provide to us, we have an important part of the app that we call support. So right here, if I was to tap support, this is a way for you to be able to communicate with us by either reporting a problem or requesting a feature or requesting content. So if you guys are aware of, oh, I wish we had this asset in the app, you can come over here to request a feature and let us know, and we'll get it added. Or if you report a problem, if you have a question about something or something's not working properly for you, if you tap report a problem, look how cool this is. This basically pulls in what version of the software you're using of the app. So this shows me that I'm on 2.4.4 version 220. This is the latest build of the app. We also will show what type of phone you're using. So we see what phone you're using and what software is on the phone. And this enables us to know who you are, who you're logged in as, and then we can better support you by knowing those facts. Another thing that you could do is say you were on a specific page in the app, and so say I was on this page and I had a question about something that was on this specific page of the app. If I was to take a screen share of this part of the app, I'm going to take a screen share. And do you see how it says screenshot taken, report a problem? So now I can report a problem. And now it actually loads that screenshot in here, and now all the same information, so you can now provide that feedback to us and we can better support you. So those are all important things. We want to make sure you're set up for success, and that if you are having a problem, we can be responsive to you and making sure that your app is working like it should be. So Stephanie, I hope that was helpful, and that basically wrapped up what I wanted to cover tonight. I'm happy to stay on. I know it's now 6:45 Arizona time. If there's questions, I can handle questions. If you want to do some Q&A and people can drop off the line, or otherwise we can wrap up either way. But I have time to answer some questions if you want to open it up.
Oh, that was fantastic, JJ. We do have some questions, but I'm so glad you did this. I learned so many new things that you guys have. So thank you for going over all of that. We have a couple people who I believe just ordered, so yay. And they wanted to verify, is it $15 a month?
Yeah, so there's two versions. There's one that's $14.95 a month that has everything in the app that you see here, as well as a coaching emails feature that allows you, as you enroll a new person on the 30-day system, you can send a series of drip emails to them through these coaching emails that we've created. So that's part of the advanced feature. In addition, we have a desktop system that if you prefer to work from your computer, you can share content right from your computer in the same way that I showed you on the phone. One of the other features that's part of the Pro version is what we call presentations. So you can, in the desktop version of this platform, and you log into that in your same back office, go to resources, go to IsaTools after you've created an account, and there's a new dashboard that you can share content from. And one of my favorite features is what we call a presentation builder. And it basically allows you to build content, a variety of like 3 videos, and add a PDF to it. And so that presentation feature is this right here, and allows you to share multiple assets. So if I want to combine 3 videos and a PDF, I can build a custom presentation and share it. I can share that with you, how to do that here in just a minute if you want. But that's the main difference between the basic version, which is $9.95, and the Pro version, which is $14.95. Pro has coaching emails, and it has presentations that you can build on the desktop system.
Well, I know I would love to see that presentation if anyone else does as well. And while you're pulling that up, we have another question.
Okay.
Jody asked, she has work contacts on her phone from her other job. Can she pick and choose her contacts?
Good question. I just stopped sharing on my screen. And right now we don't have the ability. Let me see if I can screen share and show you something really quick while I show you how to build a presentation. So if you go into the app, we have within it a contacts feature that allows you to basically pull your contacts from your phone, and now you can build a list of hot and cold contacts. So this swipe feature, swipe to the right for hot, swipe to the left for cold, builds a list of hot and cold people. But we also have a swipe feature up here on the top that allows you to swipe, and if I swipe up, I can skip or swipe down to remove that person from my list. So if you don't want to have them on your list, you can remove them. But there's not a way to sort between which contacts you import into the app and which ones you don't, unfortunately. But you can build a list of hot and cold leads there. You know, this is more of an advanced feature, and those of you that are just getting started, don't worry about this because it's not necessary. You want to just get started by texting videos and just using some of the basic features. But that's a helpful tool. The other thing that you should know is if I click on an individual contact by name, I can also see it on this page. I can share media with this person. I can click on a campaign, which would be an autoresponder coaching email campaign, or I can look at this, which is a personal activity feed for Adam. So like down here where I have this activity feed that shows globally, who have I shared with? This feed here will show me all of the shares that I've had only with Adam. So if I shared a lookbook, or I shared a video, or if he clicked on an autoresponder, this would show me all of the information that he clicked on. So that's a basic overview of the contacts feature. And then if there are more questions, I can certainly take those, but I'll start to pull up the desktop version to show you how to build a presentation. Any other questions in the meantime, Stephanie?
Nothing that has come up.
Okay, so let me pull this up. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
So this is myisatools.com. You can log into it from here at myisatools.com, or you can log in directly in your back office. That's probably going to be easier. I'd encourage you to go to your back office, go to resources, go to IsaTools. When you do that, you will see this screen here. I'm just logging in real fast. You will basically see this screen here where just give me 1 second. Well, you'll see this screen here will basically show, just give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, here we go. Where you can basically do all the same things right here on the dashboard that I did on my phone, I can do right here on the desktop version. So again, if you're a pro user, you get access to this tool. So you'll see here that there's this 5-a-day box. And do you see how these little check marks are lighted up? If I hadn't done any actions or activities in the app at all during the day, these will not be like green, they'll be gray. And so this is a way to keep track of your activity. So if I add a contact, or if I text a video, or I post something on Facebook or Instagram, any of those activities will light up this 5-a-day box. So again, activity equals income, and the more active you are in sharing, that's basically a way to kind of keep track of how active you are. So let's talk about how we share content on the desktop, and specifically how you can share a presentation. So I'm going to come over here to prospecting, and I can come over here and I'll just show you that all of the digital media assets, all the videos, all of the PDFs are right here that I can share from my desktop system, right? Now keep in mind, I cannot text from here. I can only email or push it to Facebook or Instagram. Or I can copy the link and send it to somebody on, if I'm on my computer and talking on an instant message or a Facebook Messenger conversation, I can come in here and copy the link. So if I click on the blue button, I have all these share methods. I can copy the link here, or I can email this very easily. So I'm going to now dive into this presentation builder, which, by the way, is one of the best kept secrets of this entire platform. So if I'm going to click on presentation builder, and what this is going to do is this will now take me through the process of building a presentation. So if I'm you guys, I might build one that's focused on weight loss, or I might build one that's focused on IsaBody challenge, or I might build one that's focused on athletes. So in this case, I'm going to build a presentation. I'm going to click on Isagenix Explained. I want to include Transform Your Life and the product overview. So I've clicked on these 3 videos. If I wanted to adjust the order in which they're played, I can now click, drag, and drop that video to come up here. And now I've reordered the presentation in which the videos will play for that person. So after I've done that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to add a PDF. So I click add a PDF and I want to add the new member order form. So these are built in alphabetical order. So I can come down here and I can click on the new member order form. And now I've added that to my presentation. So if I was to send this presentation to Stephanie, I could name this Stephanie, or I could name this a first exposure presentation. So because I've named this, it's now going to show up in my app that I can now text from my app, right? So I've now done that, and now I'm going to save the presentation. So when I've done that, now we're going to go in and view the presentation that I've created. So I have all these, you see all these presentations I created. I've got one that's for IsaBody. I have a weight loss one. I have one for LinkedIn. I have one for Facebook. I have one for Instagram. So in my bio, and every one of my social networks, I can build a custom presentation for that network, for that bio. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to show you the presentation I just created. So I created this first exposure presentation, and I'm going to click preview. So you'll see in literally 3 minutes, I built a website that has only the videos that I want that person to see, and it also has the PDF that I want them to look at. So you can have as many videos as you want, but it's only one PDF. But this is such a cool tool to be able to and I'd be careful. Don't overwhelm that person with too much information, right? You want to keep it simple, keep it to 2 or 3 videos, and then add that form that you want them to look at. And again, the app is going to track everything they click on. If they watched 1 or 2 or 3 of the videos, it's going to tell you which videos they click on and watch, okay? So that's another important thing, that presentation tool or presentation builder that we call. So I'm going to go back into this tool and show you one other feature. When I built this presentation, you'll notice down here at the bottom, there's a place that I can add a lead capture page. So if I added a lead capture page with a, in this case, if I wanted to have it be an athlete driven or real people, real results, or our vision, I could do our vision. This is going to throw in front of that presentation, and it will require somebody to enter their name and their email address before they view it. So why would I do that? I would do that in the case of building a presentation that I put on Facebook, for example. So if I put this as my Facebook bio, and then now I would know when somebody learned more about me in my Facebook bio and they clicked on this presentation, it would notify me and say, oh, Stephanie just watched the presentation on your Facebook bio page. So it'll actually let you know when that happens. And so I'm friends with a bunch of Isagenix associates that use this very tool, and they have a different presentation for Instagram. They have a different presentation for LinkedIn, and one for Facebook, and they put it in their bio page. So when I go back into this view presentations, and if I go over here to the presentation that I created for LinkedIn, I can click on this share button, and now I can come over here where it says copy the link. So it generates a short link. This is a bit link right here. And I just copy this link. Now I can go into my my LinkedIn bio, and if you want to learn more about me, you can click here to learn more. Click. And again, that has a lead capture page, so then I know who's clicking on the content and where they came from. And then I could say, oh, Stephanie, I know you reached out to me from Facebook, and I just wanted to follow up and see if you had any questions. So that's a tool that you might like to use. But again, guys, the key takeaway that I would share with you tonight is keep this simple. I don't want to overwhelm you with too many tools, but if you're just getting started, or if you haven't been using the app as much as you should have, just start using it to share videos. Texting a video is a way that you can build a huge business within Isagenix. They do such a good job of empowering you with good content. Just keep it simple and do it that way, and slowly progress into some of these other features that you might find helpful. So Stephanie, that's the presentation tool that I wanted to share with you guys. And again, when I make the presentation on the desktop computer, and if I want to show it, if I want to have it show up in my app, after I've done that, it'll actually show up on my phone or on my device, and I'll show you that right here by just clicking on. Let me see if I can get this to pull up. Just see if I can get this to pull up so you can see those presentations. But again, that's a way that you can find access to that content on your device, is by just making it on the presentation builder page, and then it will show up on your phone. So
JJ, while you're pulling that up, you're definitely getting a lot of people excited. So thank you for that.
So that's going to show up again here. The presentation builders are going to show up in a new category called presentations. You can't make presentations on your phone yet. You can only do it on the desktop system, but they will populate here. And again, that presentation that I just built, I can click on this presentation and text it. So it's a really cool way of sharing content.
Awesome, that's fantastic. Hey, we have one question, JJ. Can I add my own images, like transformation photos?
Ooh, good question. Unfortunately, right now, no. We don't have user-generated content. But you could, through your upline, or for those of you, if you want to reach out to Stephanie and say, hey, I'd love to have my photo loaded in, we do have a way of loading it in if you provide it through a leader, and we can then make it available. We have what's called a team access code feature. So if you log into the desktop version, if you were to enter the team name, and then it unlocks content that's specific for the team. So if your team had a bunch of before and after photos for your team that you wanted to share, you could reach out to me, Stephanie, and say, hey, these are the images, and this is the team access code that I want you to put in. And then you guys can have your own images only available to your team.
Okay, fantastic. Wow, great, JJ. This was phenomenal. I know I use your app a lot, but you've definitely given myself and several others more opportunities to really put this to use and help us to generate a lot more leads and opportunities. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Some of the comments that you're getting.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting me be a part of the team call tonight, and wish you and your entire team the best of luck as you continue to build your business this year.
All right. Thank you, JJ.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Wow, pretty fantastic. Would you guys all agree? Yes. All right, that was awesome. Does anyone have any questions about that that hasn't been answered? And I don't know if we can necessarily answer them once JJ's gone, but go ahead and ask your questions. And then right before we go, I know it is 6:58, but really quick, I wanted to bring on Jamaica Williams, who just ranked advanced to consultant. Yay, Jamie. And have her go over the you share, they share. Jamie, are you there? She was on earlier. Oh, she's there. I'm not sure if she's driving. Go ahead and unmute if you can, Jamie.
I'm here. I'm here.
Fantastic. So congratulations.
I'm going to get some sort of a contraption to be able to use this in my car with no hands.
Oh, yes. Okay. And you're driving. All right. Fantastic.
No, I pulled over. I pulled over.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. Safety first. All right. So Jamie has been having an incredible experience with Isagenics. She's been on it before, but really, truly just for the program as a customer. And I want to share a little bit of her story because her story really is very impactful. So she's my cousin, and within the last 2 to 3 years, she's been on and off the program as far as the product goes, but just came back recently wanting to do the program again. She has a surgery coming up, needed to lose some weight, but she also wanted to share it like she had wanted to share it before. And kind of started off sharing it a little salesy, and was overthinking her posts and overthinking everything and getting a little bit of anxiety about what to say, what to do. And it just really, it was coming across a little salesy. And we kept talking about it and kept opening up different ways of doing that. And then after talking to a couple people and doing some social media programs, she's just doing it and doing it correctly. And these people are magnets to her right now. And she's enrolling someone today. She enrolled someone yesterday. She enrolled someone the day before. And it's all because of how she's presenting herself in an extremely authentic way. So I'm really proud of you, Jamie. But also I love seeing that transformation of really just becoming very authentic and real and having these relationships be attracted to what you're offering. So I know you've been studying You Share, They Share. So if you can tell us how this works, how do you actually become a consultant and up to manager?
Okay, so I've been studying the You Share, They Share. Pretty much I've just been focusing on kind of what Stephanie and I talked about, just not getting into my head and just kind of being me. So the best way I started doing that was just kind of doing what I call my little journey journal, which I do on Facebook every single day. And literally day by day by day by day, I have more and more people, more and more messages. So I was confused about the compensation. And when somebody asks you, you definitely want to know a little bit about what you're talking about, at least the beginning part. So I'm going to do it as well as I know. And the biggest part of this, I guess, is just to really get down the rest of it. So let's say you come in as, a customer and you share with 2 different people, and we're going to assume that they get 2 different value packs or a value pack each. So if you sell a value pack, and I shouldn't even use that word, sell, but if you share a value pack with one other person, it's $100 bonus, I believe. And then if you share it with a second person, it is also a $100 bonus. Now, if you share those 2 people within the same week, the bonus goes up to $200 a piece. Is that correct, Stephanie?
That's correct.
Okay. And then after you share with 2 different people, then you become consultant, which is an extra $50 bonus. This is where I get a little bit squirrely. So you then show them, your people you've shared with, you show them how to share with 2 people themselves. my question or my squirreliness comes into, there is a $250 bonus if you complete some of these things within 60 days. And that's kind of as far as I've gotten as far as truly understanding the compensation.
Yeah, no problem. So let's go with, you've heard that there's a bonus if you share it with two people who share it with two people within the 60 days, right?
Right.
You remember how much that is?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Do you remember how much that is?
Yeah, so $100.
No.
100
So becoming a consultant normally is $50, but they're having a promotion right now. Anyone that becomes a consultant until the end of May gets $100. So that's now been doubled.
Okay, so that probably confused me a little bit.
No problem, not a problem. And then when you share with two people, this is what you're thinking. When you share with someone who shares with two people, they become a consultant. You
Correct.
receive $100 for each one of them. Oops.
Okay.
So we're just gonna mark that as $200 because you shared with two people who became consultants.
Okay.
And there's also a bonus that the company will give you if you share with two people who share with two people each within 60 days.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking it was, and I wasn't sure, and the way I had drawn my diagram was not making sense. But yes, so you share with two people, you teach them how to share with two people, and then you get an extra bonus on top of your sharing bonuses, and of course, none of this includes your cycling.
Correct. And all of that other goodies that come. So with all of that, it comes out to, normally it's $900. Because of the special promotion that's going on right now, it's $950. Which is so
That's
cool, right?
awesome. And I just keep trying to share what I do know, because I've had many people ask me, especially recently, so how do I earn the extra money? So I can get as far as the first step, and then I generally say, hey, my awesome cousin Stephanie does this. We'll bring her on for the rest.
And absolutely, that certainly works. Three-way calls and Zoom calls are so important. But just take a look at this diagram, and when you share with two people, you earn. And then when they share with two people within your first 60 days, you'll earn. And if it was started off with value packs, it comes out to that $900 to $950. And the really cool thing right now is that we still have going on, and we have a couple more weeks left, is when we do that 10 times, the company's going to not give you that $250 most likely because you've already earned it, but you're going to make an additional $2,000 for becoming a Crystal executive. Plus there's a really cool party at Celebration. And for up to your first 20 consultants, you make that additional $100. So that could be an additional $2,000. So there's a lot of money on the table just for helping people to share with other people and to help with other people. Jamie, absolutely fantastic. You have it, my girlfriend. You know how this works.
Thank you. I'm trying to get there, but thank you. I couldn't do it without you.
Well, you're doing absolutely fantastic. Way to go. Very proud of you. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. This is the end of our call for tonight. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I hope you guys all really enjoyed listening to JJ and Jamie go over the you share, they share. But if I know that there's so much to the IsaTools, both the app and the PC. So if we can keep our lines of communication open and really work together, especially on that presentation. Some people are really good at sitting down and putting things together and just go, go, go. And others, like myself, are not necessarily that great, but we love hearing the ideas and we'll put it together when we hear it. So if you're all in, let's go ahead and work together on our CIA page and work together, show each other what we're doing. And Brent, if you're okay, let's come up with a CIA team page with Sound Concepts, and hopefully we can get a lot of our own before and after pictures up there. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining today, and do what JJ talked about today. Find your number, whether it's 2 a day, 3 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day. And the biggest thing is just staying consistent, reaching out to people, how many ever that is, and do it in the morning so that you get it done first thing. And then, you know, whatever else you do, everyone has kind of like a regular routine. If you don't have one, ask us and we'll tell you our routines. But come up with how many people are you going to connect with every single day to let them know about Isagenics, and how are you going to connect with them? What are you going to send to them? Know your stuff so that you can just get that information out to people and do it in such a massive way. And Heidi, yeah, I absolutely, let's do a little post on that, on what is everybody's routine. And everybody just list your routines and maybe even how much time it takes for you to do it, because that's an important thing too, and how many people you come up with. I want to thank you guys all so much for your time tonight, as well as every single Tuesday. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for blessing my life of being here every single Tuesday and helping us all learn from each other. And you guys all have a fantastic evening. We'll see you.